Hi, it's Kiffin Lobates here, and no forest walk today because the snow is too damn deep for me to actually walk through it. Anyway, about 3 months ago I posted a series of videos aimed at recruiters where I was talking about the state of affairs in the blockchain industry, particularly the disconnect between what employers were hoping for and hoping to get away with paying and the mentality of blockchain experts and Solidity programmers and people like that. And I thought a State of the Union was due because it's now 3 months on, and the good thing I can say is that my inbox is no longer filled with recruiters asking me to apply for jobs as a blockchain expert for 100 to 150k a year, which even back then was quite laughable. The salary ranges on offer now are much more commensurate with what a blockchain expert or a smart contract writer would expect. Namely, the typical sums are now around the $300,000 to $500,000 mark. Now, it must be noted that if you have very specific domain knowledge, for example, Solana plus Rust is one that's in high demand and low supply, then I've heard of some people actually getting salaries in the $800,000 to $1 million a year range. So that is quite remarkable, really, when you think about it. However, there is one thing I want to touch on here, which is when you dig into the job descriptions for these jobs in the $500,000 a year range, plus, of course, always a collection of magic beans, which may or may not later become valuable. Well, when you look at those job descriptions, you can see that the employers are still not quite getting it. They've realized that they have to offer a lot of money, but of course what they've also done is said, well, if we're going to pay that astronomical sum, we better make sure that we get somebody who can do absolutely everything. So you read the job descriptions and they're pages long. They'll say that they want a blockchain expert who knows smart contracts and has worked closely with DEXs, DAOs, tokens, upgradable contracts, has invented a couple of contract concepts themselves, is extremely proficient in a smart contract programming language, has been writing Solidity for 5 years, and is a renowned world expert on these topics. And then coupled with that, they also want that person to grow into the role of CTO in the company and help with the recruiting of developers for the team. So you've also got to get involved in recruiting, which for the kind of person who fits the first half of the bill is going to be something that is really going to turn them off, right? You don't spend 5 to 10 years in blockchain and 20 to 30 years in the software industry in general building up that kind of body of technical knowledge to then conduct job interviews. And that person is also going to have to act as the line manager to all these developers and oversee a team. So they're not actually going to get to write much in the way of code if that's going to be their job. So they become an immensely expensive, skilled employee who is going to effectively be a middle manager. And then on top of that, they also want the person that they put into this role to be a proven innovator, somebody who has done novel things in the blockchain space. So really, I mean, there must be maybe 10 people on the planet who would fit that kind of description. And those kind of people are not going to want to then spend 40 hours, 50 hours a week conducting interviews because the company has had previous bad experiences when they hired Samuel from London or Sanjay from Bangalore, who said that they were a smart contract expert and didn't even know what the caret between the word pragma and the version number of Solidity meant. So I think it's still got a way to go. It really, I mean, it's refreshing to see that the market rates being offered are now actually starting to realistically reflect what the scarcity of supply means has to be the case. But you can't then try to compensate for the fact that this seems like an astronomical amount of money by demanding that the candidates are basically superheroes in the blockchain world. because you're not going to find them. Anyway, I find that kind of amusing. It'll be interesting to see how it develops further. And the thing here particularly to consider is the fact that these companies or these startups or these projects are looking for technical people to implement the ideas that the founders or the company has, which those people expect are going to raise them tens or hundreds of millions of dollars in funding, and are going to give them a unicorn, a company that has a valuation of 1 billion or 10 billion or who knows, 100 billion, because they're looking out at the industry and seeing that companies like OpenSea start off as, you know, a couple of guys in a garage hacking together a website, and over a period of a mere 4 or 5 years, suddenly the company has a valuation of 13 billion. I mean, this is remarkable even by San Francisco startup standards. So when you think about that, if that's the dream, well, you have to pay for it. Anyway, that's today's video, an update on the state of affairs in the recruitment business, specifically for blockchain. Hope you found it interesting, and I'll see you all in the next video soon. Bye for now.